Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I hope you all are doing well. I am Sumera, Healthy Wali from the platform of Rehan Artificial Intelligence Teacher Training Institute Level 1. Welcome to all of you in another inspiring episode by Maya. Today, words, tough times are a part of life, but they also give us the opportunity to discover our inner strength and resilience. So, viewers, today we are going to discussing how to stay motivated during the tough time. Let's explore the
Thank you so
practical strategies that can help us to stay positive, focused, and motivated even when life becomes challenging. So, for discussing this, I am joined by Maya today. Without delay, let's start the session. Welcome to the studio, Maya. How are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really looking forward to this. It's such an important topic because let's be honest, everyone hits those walls eventually, and knowing how to climb over them is a total game changer.
Okay, Maya, first of all, I would like to know from you that why do people often lose motivation during the difficult time? Because I do believe that understanding the cause is the first step towards overcoming it. So, what is your opinion about that?
I completely agree. You can't really fix a leak if you don't know where the hole is. I think a huge part of it is that tough times usually come with a side of overwhelm. When everything feels like it's crashing down at once, our brains stop seeing the finish line and start focusing only on the struggle. It's that feeling of, what's the point? Because the effort feels way bigger than the reward. Plus, there's the emotional drain. It's hard to stay fired up when you're just exhausted from trying to keep your head above water. Do you think it's more about the external pressure or that internal dialogue that starts to take over?
Okay, you are absolutely right, Maya. Viewers, a positive attitude help us to move forward with confidence. So, Maya, what do you think? How can we maintain a positive mindset when facing the challenges?
I think the secret is shifting the goalposts. When things are really hard, trying to be positive can feel fake or, you know, impossible. Instead of trying to force a smile, I find it's more helpful to focus on small wins. If you can't see the top of the mountain, just look at your next step. Celebrating the tiny things, like getting out of bed or finishing one small task, creates a little bit of momentum that eventually turns into real confidence. It's about being realistically hopeful rather than blindly optimistic. Do you feel like focusing on those small victories makes the big picture feel less daunting?
That's make lot of sense, Maya. Viewers, the small positive habits create the lasting strength. So, what do you think, Maya? That what daily habits can help us to stay motivated during the stressful situations?
I'm a big believer in the power of a morning ritual. E- Even something as simple as 5 minutes of mindful breathing or writing down one thing you're grateful for can set a tone of control before the day's chaos hits. I also think a digital sunset, putting the screens away an hour before bed, is huge. When we're stressed, we tend to doom scroll, which just fuels the anxiety. Creating those little boundaries helps protect your mental energy. What about you? Do you have a go to habit that helps you reset when things get hectic?
I completely agree with you, Maya. You said very well. Every small achievement brings us closer to the success. So, Maya, tell me that how can setting small and realistic goals keeps us motivated?
It's all about the psychology of the win. When we set a goal that's too massive, our brain often views it as a threat or an impossibility, which triggers that freeze response. But a small, realistic goal, that's achievable. And every time you check one of those off your list, your brain gets a little hit of dopamine. That feeling of, I actually did it, is the fuel that keeps you going. It transforms a daunting marathon into a series of manageable sprints. Do you think people tend to set their bars too high when they're trying to recover from a tough spot.
Absolutely right, Maya. Believing in ourselves gives us the courage to keep going. So, Maya, tell me please that what role does self belief play in overcoming tough times?
Self belief is basically the anchor that keeps you from drifting away when the storm gets rough. It's not about having a magic shield that stops bad things from happening, but it's the quiet voice inside that says, I've handled hard things before, and I can handle this too. When you trust your own ability to adapt and survive, the problem stops being a wall and starts becoming a puzzle to solve. It changes the narrative from, why is this happening to me, to, how am I going to get through this? Do you think that kind of confidence is something people are born with, or is it something we have to actively build through experience?
I think it's something we have built through experience.
I'm with you on that. It's like a
Okay,
muscle. You don't just wake up one day with it. You build it by facing those small challenges, failing a bit,
yeah.
getting back up, and realizing you're still standing. Each time you survive a tough day, you're basically adding a new piece of evidence to the file that says, I can do this. Do you think those moments of failure are actually more valuable for building confidence than the easy wins?
You are absolutely right, Maya. Sports from the others makes the difficult journey easier. So, Maya, please tell me, my viewers, that how can family, friends, and the mentors help us to stay motivated?
Mhm. They're like the safety net that lets you take risks without the fear of a total crash. Having people who believe in you when you stopped believing in yourself is everything. Sometimes we just need someone to hold the mirror up and remind us of the strengths we've forgotten we have. A mentor can provide the roadmap, and friends provide the emotional fuel, but just knowing you aren't fighting the battle alone takes a huge weight off your shoulders. Do you think people usually find it easy to ask for that help, or do they tend to try and carry it all by themselves?
You are absolutely right, Maya. Maya, a healthy body supports a strong and motivated mind. So, do you think that healthy habits like sleep, exercise, and proper nutrition affect the motivation level of someone or not? If yes, then how?
Absolutely. They're basically the fuel for the engine. If you're running on 3 hours of sleep and a diet of caffeine and stress, your brain is just going to be in survival mode. It's almost impossible to feel motivated or creative when you're physically exhausted because your mental bandwidth is completely used up just trying to stay awake. Exercise is like a reset button for the mind. It clears out the mental fog and releases those endorphins that make the problems feel a little more manageable. It's hard to stay mentally strong when the physical foundation is shaky. Do you think most people overlook the physical side of motivation and focus too much on just trying harder mentally?
Yeah, I think so.
It's a common trap. People treat their minds like they're separate from their bodies, but you can't really optimize one while ignoring the other. It's like trying to run a high end app on a battery that's at 1%. Eventually, it's just going to shut down. Do you
Okay,
feel
you
like
are okay.
it's
You
hard?
are completely right, Maya. My next question to you is that how can gratitude and mindfulness help us to stay motivated during the hard times?
They're like a grounding wire during a storm. When we're in a tough spot, our minds tend to spiral. We either obsess over what went wrong in the past or panic about what might happen in the future. Mindfulness brings us back to the present moment, which is usually much more manageable than the monsters our imagination creates. And gratitude, that's the real secret weapon. It doesn't mean ignoring the pain or pretending everything is perfect, but it forces the brain to acknowledge that even in the middle of a mess, there are still a few things that are good. It shifts the focus from what's missing to what's still there, and that's where the energy to keep going comes from. Do you find that taking a moment to be grateful actually changes your mood in the moment, or is it more of a long term shift for you?
Okay, thank you so much, Maya, for joining us today and sharing such a valuable insights on staying motivated during the tough time. Thanks a lot. It really means to me.
It was my absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me in your studio. I love the conversation, and I hope your viewers find some of these strategies helpful. I'm looking forward to the next one.
Okay, see you soon, inshallah. Thank you, Maya, and thank you all the viewers who are joining us today in our show. Remember that storms do not last forever, but the strength you build during them stay with you for a lifetime. Viewers, keep believing in yourself. Take one step at a time, never stop learning, and never give up on your dreams. So that's all about today's session. See you in the next session soon. Till then, take very good care of yourself. Be healthy, keep learning, and make sure every minute count. Allah Hafiz.
That was such a beautiful